This headline from the Daily Wire reads, "Utterly disgusting. AGs, lawmakers across the U.S. react to startling findings from Matt Walsh's trans healthcare investigation." If you're not caught up to speed on what's going on here, here's a quick summary. Quote, "In an undercover investigation, Walsh and his team discovered how easy it is to get approved for sex change surgery when one of the host's producers got a thumbs up for an orchiectomy, a procedure to remove your balls, after just a 22-minute virtual appointment with Plume, the largest transgender healthcare provider in the US. Here's Plume's website, and of course they have some pills in the background. It reads, "Gender-affirming care from home by the largest healthcare provider to the trans and non-binary community." Now, we all knew this stuff was an absolute contagion and being pushed through the healthcare system with little oversight, but we didn't know it was this bad. 22 minutes on a virtual call bad. And the producer made it clear that he was not a good candidate. He was mispronouncing the name of the surgery, again, on purpose. This was all just to prove how insane all of this is. But Plume didn't care. They wrote him a letter of recommendation, of course, using a template from WPATH, which is a pro-transgender organization. The whole thing was a farce, and this is happening across the country to people of all ages. Here's Plume advertising that you can get an appointment in days, not months, and the reason they do all this is because if you can get a diagnosis, a letter of recommendation, the insurance companies will cover the cost of the surgery where they wouldn't otherwise. So that's the driving force behind this, arguably insurance fraud. Back to the Daily Wire article here, quote, "State and federal level lawmakers also responded to Walsh's investigation. Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican of Tennessee, told the Daily Wire, quote, "It is incomprehensible that some healthcare providers are potentially breaking the law to mislead vulnerable patients and fast-track irreversible procedures. This isn't healthcare, it's forcing an ideological agenda." And she's kind of contradicting herself here. She says, it's incomprehensible that some healthcare providers, blah, 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 and then she goes, this isn't healthcare. And that's really the verbiage we need to fix. Stop calling them healthcare providers. They are not. They push an ideological agenda and cause irreparable, irreversible harm. Continuing on here, House Healthcare and Financial Services Committee Chair Lisa McClain, Republican of Michigan, said, quote, "Only in a country that's lost its soul can major sex change surgeries be expedited like buying a fast pass at a theme park. This is utterly disgusting, and we cannot continue down this path of insanity. It's time America wakes up to reality and casts away progressive ideology that is literally putting people's lives at risk." Now, this is stronger and better language, which I like to see, but at the end she says this is literally putting people's lives at risk, which is true. People have died from this surgery, but a key point here is that even if the surgery is quote-unquote successful, it is still an abomination. We're hearing now tons of testimony from detransitioners, people who no longer identify as transgender, but who went through these surgeries, and they have basically no function down there. They're going to be treated medically for life, which again is part of the package. That's not a complication. That's just how it is when you try to replicate, organs that aren't actually yours. And their lives are really just totally sent down an awful path, and they are upset that the doctors and the psychologists, people that they're supposed to trust, put them on this conveyor belt to an irreversible surgery, and they now have to live with it for the rest of their lives. So this is awful when it goes wrong and awful when it goes right, and it only takes 22 minutes to get approved. Continuing on, Tennessee House Majority Leader William Lamberth, a Republican, said, quote, "These tactics make a mockery of the healthcare profession at the expense of vulnerable patients who are in serious need of mental health treatment. If any provider is making deceptive claims for the purpose of defrauding an insurance company, that should be investigated." So really there are two angles to this. The first is just the unethical side of doing these in the first place, but much less doing it after 22 minutes over basically a Zoom call with someone who couldn't even pronounce the name of the surgery. But then there's the legal ramifications of these people basically just rubber stamping these template letters of approvals and diagnoses in order to get insurance companies to cover the cost of the operations. And look, if it takes insurance fraud charges to get these places shut down, then so be it. I wish it was just that sane humans would look at this and say this is utterly unacceptable. But hey, you know what? If insurance gets them, I'll take it. I'll end with this quote from State Senator Jack Johnson in Tennessee. Quote, another disgusting attempt to label the mutilation of children as healthcare. I appreciate Matt Walsh for exposing this deranged behavior. This is a real battle, and it is a battle we will win. Now, a great way to help fight in this battle is to spread the message. The more people that know what's going on, the more people we'll have on our side. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. I've got a bunch more content coming for you. My name's Ryan. This is News Rye. I'll see you in the next one.